Countless millennia ago, the universe was a fish. The fish was enormous and mystical, filled with a multitude of stars, and it circled the chaotic energy that revolved around the primordial waters of creation. After many eons, the fish was lonely, so it decided to create someone to accompany it in the cosmos. The cosmic fish opened its mouth and inhaled, drawing in immense amounts of energy from its surroundings. The energy in the fish condensed to form two figures, one having all the beauty in the world, resembling the stunning radiance of the stars, and the other hideous, repulsive, and ugly. These figures were the twins, our founders. The twins sat in the fish, conversing with one another. The pretty one was named Allura, and the ugly one was named Iniquity. The two of them began to argue, as Iniquity was jealous of Allura's beauty. One day, Iniquity demanded for Allura's magnificent locks of hair. Allura, being generous and kind, willingly gave it away. Yet he was still unsatisfied. While Allura was resting, Iniquity snuck up behind her and attacked, in an attempt to take more hair. Allura was surprised and got up in fright. Iniquity missed, and his forceful blow struck the inside of the fish and tore an immense cavity. This cavity continued to grow until the fish disintegrated into nothing, spilling stars across the cosmos. Allura and Iniquity were left stranded in the universe, with only the primordial waters of creation surrounding them. The waters of creation, being the origin of everything in the universe, were kind and protective of all that existed. For this reason, they created a home for the twins, a rock, to replace the fish. Allura expressed her gratitude and settled down on the immense sphere of rock happily. Iniquity, having nowhere else to go, grudgingly landed on the rock as well. For many years, Allura and Iniquity lived on the rock in peace. Allura, on her side of the rock, had created plants and had raised them with the help of the waters of creation. Iniquity, on the other hand, had created animals and ate their raw flesh. Infected with the anger and indignation of the poor creatures, he unleashed mass destruction upon the surrounding land, creating huge craters and mountains of rubble. When the waters of creation saw the devastation on Iniquity's side, they were astonished, and rushed to fill the holes, which formed the ocean, lakes, and rivers. Iniquity was angered, and threw his animals into the water, trying to drown them. However, Allura gave them gills, and allowed them to thrive. This enraged Iniquity even more, and he threatened to destroy all that she had made. Allura didn't want to fight, and so she proposed a competition. They would each create something, and whoever could trump over the other would have dominion over the rock. Iniquity agreed, and went back to his side of the rock to scheme. Days of planning made a reptilian monster that was massive and scaly. It spat fire and acid, and could destroy everything in its path. Iniquity was very proud of his monster, as he had spent many days creating it. While Iniquity focused on his plan, Allura was still trying to create hers. Allura stumbled upon her creation when she began to cry over her fight with her twin. As her tears hit the rock, many figures arose. These figures were humans. She did not take notice of her creation until she had stopped crying. At this point, she had already created hundreds of humans. The humans were small and weak compared to Iniquity's monstrosity. When the day came for them to meet and show off their creations, Iniquity was filled with pride. Allura was worried and slowly moved towards their meeting point in the middle of the rock. On the way there, she thought of the many things she could do to help the humans win, and in the end, bestowed upon them the power of intelligence and wisdom. The twins arrived at their meeting place, and Iniquity laughed, mocking Allura's pitiful creatures. Yet Allura was unfazed and smiled gently at the small people clinging to her. When the time came for the creations to fight, Iniquity and Allura released them onto a large piece of flat land. This was their playing field. The reptilian monster roared and charged towards the humans. The people scattered and ran off in different directions, confusing the monster. While the beast was still confused, the humans suddenly ran back, each holding a thick coil of rope made from woven vines. They circled the legs of the monster and tied them together. Angered, the reptile tried to squish the pests that were bothering it, but when it took a step, the rope tightened, bringing the beast down to the ground in a thud. The humans had worked together and won. Iniquity was enraged. He yelled and hollered at his creation to rise once more and defeat those humans. Yet no matter how much his monster struggled and writhed, it could not escape its bonds. As the humans were celebrating their victory, Iniquity had a wicked thought. He transmitted his ideas into the minds of the humans and suggested that skinning and eating the flesh of the monster would best demonstrate their prowess and invincibility. The humans were affected by his thoughts and rushed to desecrate and mutilate the monster. Allura was shocked at their vicious behavior and immediately called for them to stop. Yet the humans, drawn by the prospect of power and prestige, continued their actions. Allura, having no other choice, drew upon the power bestowed to her by the waters of creation and deprived the humans of their infinite lifespan, in fear that they would join Iniquity in his evil ways. Iniquity, seeing the extent of her powers, feared for his life and fled into the shadows. Allura, cloaked in holy golden light, chased after him, but Iniquity was crafty, and she could not catch up. Her determination led to her chasing after him for all eternity. And that is how day and night came to be. Iniquity, disguised in the shadows, continued to influence humans from the dark, while Allura, illuminated in holy golden light, illuminated their misdeeds. Their story continues on even now and will go on for as long as the universe exists.